Hello everyone, welcome back to Knock Knock AR Education, and this is our third lecture on the change of order of integration. And today, as I have promised, we will be solving some previous year questions so that you can get an idea in exam which kind of question they ask from this topic. Okay, so let's just start with the questions. So the question number one that we will be doing is, here is our question number one. They say that let f be a function from R to R, which is a continuous function. I am writing this continuous as CTS, okay, so don't get confused. Be a continuous function and your a is greater than 0. Then they have asked that then the integral, which integral, then the integral, this is from 0 to a, then they said that this is from 0 to x, f of y, then we have dy dx is, okay. So the options that they have given is 0 to a, we have y times f of y dy. Then the B option they said is from 0 to a minus y f of y dy. And then option C is your 0 to a, here we have y minus a f of y dy. And the last option, that is your D option, is from a to 0, this is your y times f of y dy, okay. So suppose in exam, if this kind of question comes, always focus on one thing. And what is that one thing? You just see at the integral which you have to find out, and then always have an eye on the options, because options actually give you an idea ki what you have to do and by which step you have to stop yourself, okay. So as you will see this integral, this is a double integral where we have to integrate initially with respect to y, because the limit of y is given in terms of x. But since we do not know about this function of f of y, then we do not know how to integrate it. But as soon as I'll go to the options, they are giving me an just a hint that okay, we do not have to integrate it with respect to y, because this integral has been transformed into single integral, and the given integrals, they have to be integrated with respect to y. It means they have already been integrated with respect to x. But in this integration, we have to initially integrate with respect to y. It means they have changed the order. Fine, because they have changed the order, then they might have integrated it with respect to x. That is why these all four options are containing the integrals which have to be integrated with respect to y. So what I have told you, step number one, you will just write down your limits. X is equal to 0, x is equals to a, y is equals to 0, y is equals to x. Then what will you do? You will draw your region of integration. This is your x is equal to 0, this is your y is equal to 0, then you have y is equals to x, and then you have x is equals to a. Obviously this is going to be a region of integration. So in the question, what they have done, they must have drawn a strip which is parallel to y-axis, because they have given the limit of y is in terms of x. But what we have to do is, we want to change the order. So we want the limit of x in terms of y. So we will do what? We will just draw a strip which is parallel to x-axis. So from where to where it is going? It is going from x is equals to y to x is equals to a. So what I will do now, I'll just keep it like this. This is going from x is equals to y to x is equals to a. This was from left to right, bottom to top. This is y is equal to 0, and this is your y is equal to a. So it is going from y is equal to 0 to a, and this is your f of y dx dy. Now what I will do, I'll just integrate it with respect to x. So if I am integrating it with respect to x, I'll treat y as a constant. So this is going to be x from y to a, and this is your dy. So what it came out to be? It came out to be y from 0 to a, and then once you will apply the limits, you will get a minus y f of y dy. So which option do you think is correct? Y from 0 to a minus y f of y dy. That is your B option is correct. So this was your first question, which was obviously a previous year question. So let's discuss few more problems on change of order of integration. Question number 2 is, they have given from 0 to 1, then they have from x to 1. Here we have sine y square, then we have dy dx is equals to, and those who are a little a little old questions like before 2015, I am not mentioning the years, but those questions which are from 2015 to 22, I'll definitely write down the year from which I have taken. Okay, so this is the question, and they have given you the options as 1 plus cos 1 by 2. Then the second option they have given you is 1 minus cos 1. Third option is your 1 plus cos 1, and this is your 1 minus cos 1 by 2. And this question is from IIT-JAM question paper of 2018. Okay, and obviously this is an MCQ question, so it will be of 1 mark. So what we have to do is that, you see, just look at the integration. Okay, you simply have to solve it and just find it out which option is correct. So what you are seeing here is that the limit of y is in terms of x, so obviously I have to integrate it first with respect to y. But is it possible for me to integrate sine y square? Obviously not. So I got to know, okay, this problem is from change of order of integration. Now what I'll do, I'll just write down the limit. X is equal to 0, x is equals to 1, y is equals to x, and y is equals to 1. Now what I'll do, I'll just draw our region of integration. This is x is equal to 0. Okay, this is your y is equals to x, this is your x is equals to 1. So this point is going to be what? This point is going to be 1 1. So your y is equal to 1 will pass from here only. And I cannot choose this region. Why? Because this region contains y is equal to 0, which is not given as the limits. So what we have to do is that I'll just choose which region? The region above this, that is the region which is being bounded by x is equal to 0, y equal to 1, x equal to 1. It means this is a region of integration. Now in the question, the limit of y is in terms of x. It means they might have drawn a strip which is parallel to what? Which is parallel to y axis. But we want to change the order. It means we want to integrate with respect to x. So we want the limit of x in terms of y. So we will draw a strip parallel to x axis. And in the region anywhere I draw this strip, this is always going from where to where? From x is equal to 0 to x is equal to y. So what is going to be our integration? From x is equal to 0 to x is equal to y. And once we will move from bottom to top, this is going from y is equal to 0 to 1. And this is your sine y square. Then here we'll change the order. It will become dx dy. Now what we will do? Now we will integrate it first with respect to x, treating y as a constant. So what it will be? 0 to 1, and sine y square, it will be like this. And we'll integrate it with respect to x. So here we'll get the limit from 0 to y. So what it will be now? This will be 0 to 1, then y sine y square, and here we have dy. What we will do? We'll do y square is equal to t, so 2y dy is equal to dt. Limit is going to be from 0 to 1 only. So 0 to 1, this is your sine t, and this is y dy is dt by 2. So 1 by 2 integration of sine t will give you cos t, and this is from 0 to 1. So this is going to be cos 1 minus cos 0 is your 1. So answer is going to be 1 minus cos 1 by 2. It means which option we are getting? 1 minus cos 1 by 2. That means the option that we are getting is D option. So this was the question from the year 2017. Let's move to few more questions of another previous years. So the next question that we will be doing today is the value of the integral. Now I hope even if you will solve these questions without you do one thing, just pause the video before writing the question, solve it, and then see the solution, and see whether you are getting the answers or not, whether you are able to solve these questions or not after just learning from those two sessions which were on change of order of integration. So the value of the integral, and what is that integral? Okay, yeah, so value of the integral, and what is that integral? It is from y is equal to 0 to 1, and your x is from 0 to 1 minus y square. This is your y. Then you have sine pi. This is your 1 minus x square dx dy is. Okay, so I am writing your options here. Here you have 1 by 2 pi, then you have 2 pi. C option is your pi by 2, and D option is your 2 by pi. And this question is from the question paper of 2019 and obviously 1 mark. Okay, so let's go through this question. The question says we have to find out the value of this integral. If we look at the integral, we have to integrate initially with respect to x. Why? Because the limit of x is in terms of y. But it is not possible for me to integrate this term with respect to x. It means it is clearly saying that this question is from change of order of integration. So what we will do, we'll just write down the limits. Y is equals to 0, y is equals to 1, x is equals to 0, x is equal to 1 minus y square. Now next what we will do, we'll just draw our region of integration. Okay, so this is going to be our x is equals to the 0, this is y is equal to 0, and you see that this is a parabola. Okay, this is your y square is equal to minus x minus 1. See, I hope all of you can see this. I just transferred this y square this side and this x this side. So what I'll get like this. So this is going to be a parabola, okay, whose vertex is going to be 1, 0, and it will be like this because we have a negative sign over here. Okay, then they said we also have a line y is equal to 1, but what we will do, we'll just see that on substituting in this term x is equal to 0, what we are getting, y square minus 1 equal to 0, it means y is equal to plus minus 1. So the point of intersection of this parabola with this y-axis is your 0, 1 and your 0, minus 1. But they are saying that we have to bound the region with respect to what, y is equal to 1. So we will draw this line which is going to be y is equal to 1. Now we can see our region very clearly. How? Now you see here, in fact you go through the limits. The limit of y is from 0 to 1. This is your y equal to 0, this is your y is equal to 1. Obviously it means we do not have to consider this region. Okay, we have to consider which region? The region from y is equal to 0 to y is equal to 1. Always take help from the limit. And the limit of x is from 0 to 1 minus y square, left to right. This is your x is equal to 0, this is your x is equal to 1 minus y square. It means they are talking about this region. Fine. Now what we have to do, we got a region of integration, but we have to change the order. So what we will do, we want the limit of y in terms of x now. So we will draw a strip which is what, which is parallel to y-axis. And from where to where it is going, bottom to top, y is equal to 0. And x is equals to 1 minus y square will give you y square is equal to 1 minus x. Now you see one thing, we are getting y as plus minus root 1 minus x, but since we are in the first quadrant, we will choose y is equal to root 1 minus x. And left to right, once we will go, we know that this is vertex, this is 1, 0. So now if we will transform this given integral after changing the order, what it will become, from 0 to 1 and from 0 to 1 minus y square, what we were having, y times sine of pi, then we got 1 minus x whole square, this is your dx dy. Okay, this would be your dx dy. Okay, then what we are getting, we'll change the order, and now what we are getting is your x is from 0 to 1. Fine, your x is from 0 to 1 and your y is from 0 to where, from 0 to square root of 1 minus x. Okay, and this is going to be y, then you got sine pi, this is your 1 minus x whole square, and this is going to be dy dx. Fine. So what we will do, we will now integrate initially with respect to which variable, with respect to y. So we'll keep x as a constant, this is your pi 1 minus x whole square, and then this is going to be y square by 2, apply the limit 0 to root 1 minus x dx. So what we are getting is 0 to 1, then we got sine, and this is your pi 1 minus x whole square. It is going to be what, 1 minus x by 2, this is your dx. Fine, because this is square, so root 1 minus x square is 1 minus x. Now what we can do is that for simplicity, we'll take this problem as a substitution problem, and what we will do, we will choose 1 minus x whole square is equals to what, is equals to z. Fine. Okay, this is going to be a z variable. And now 2 times 1 minus x with a negative sign dx is equals to dz. So we'll get 1 minus x dx as minus dz by 2. Keep all the things over here. And just do one thing, either you can keep the limits of z also, or you can later on change z into x and keep the limit as it is 0 to 1. But what we will do, we'll keep the limit of z. When your x is 0, you can see that your z is 1, and when your x is 1, you can keep your z 0. This is going to be sine pi, and we have to 1 minus x square whole square as z. 1 minus x dx is your minus dz and by 2. Now you do one thing, you just interchange the limit from 0 to 1, and one negative sign you will get. So this negative and negative will combine together to get what? To get a positive sign. So 0 to 1, 1 by 2, and this one is going to be your sine pi z, and this is your dz. So now we will integrate it with respect to z. So this is going to be minus cos pi z, and here we are getting 1 pi, and this is from 0 to 1. So this is minus 1 by 2 pi. Then you keep your cos pi because z is 1, and cos 0 is your 1. Okay, so what answer we are getting over here? We know that cos pi is also minus 1. So minus 1 is going to be minus 2. Minus 2 minus 1 is going to be your 1 only. So your 2 by 2 pi. So the answer that you are getting is what? Okay, let's just see it once more. What we are getting over here is that 1 minus x whole square, those who have problem, 1 minus x whole square is equals to z, we kept. Then we got minus 2 times 1 minus x dx is equal to dz. So your 1 minus x dx is equals to minus dz by 2. Okay, so we kept 1 minus x dx. Okay, so here we left 1 to 1 minus x dx was equals to minus dz by 2, and already we were getting a 2 over here. So this is going to be your 1 by 4 here. Fine, this is your 1 by 4, and now here you got what? Here you got 2, so the answer is going to be 1 by 2 pi. Fine, the answer is going to be 1 by 2 pi because cos pi is minus 1, minus 1 minus 1 is your minus 2, and this minus will lead it to plus 2. So 2 by 4 pi is going to be 1 by 2 pi. So let's see which option we are getting. 1 by 2 pi, that is your option A is correct, and this question was from the question paper of 2018. So let's go to another question, that is going to be our question number 4. But before that, you just see one thing, that first we did a question that was your question from the question paper. Which question paper? 2017. Okay, then you see we did a question from the question paper 2019, but 2018 question we haven't seen yet. So this time we'll see a question of change of order of integration itself, but this was from the question paper 2018 because this has been asked in the NAT section. What I want to tell you from here is that every year you get a question from this topic, change of order of integration. So if you escape this topic, obviously you will be losing either 1 or 2 marks depending upon the which section it has been asked or which part of the section it has been asked. Okay, so what question it was? It was the value of the integral. What is this? 0 to 1, then you have x to 1, y raised to the power 4 e raised to the power x y square dy dx is, and this was being asked correct up to 3 decimal places. Okay, so you see just at this integral we have to integrate initially with respect to y. Why? Because the limit of y is in terms of x. But is it possible for me to integrate it? Obviously it is not that much easy, when it's not possible. Okay, right now, so obviously we understood that okay, I have to change the order. I'll integrate it initially with respect to x, but for that I need to change the order. What I'll do, I just write down the limits. Y is equals to 1, y is equal to x, then x is equals to 0, x is equals to 1, and I'll try to draw the region of integration. This is our x is equals to 0. Okay, this is our y is equals to x, this is our x is equals to 1. So obviously our y is equal to 1 passes through this point. Okay, let's just draw this line again. Yeah, this is your y is equals to 1. So which region I'll choose? Obviously I'm going to choose this region. Region being is that it is bounded by x is equal to 0. I cannot choose this B region. Why? Because it is being bounded by y is equal to 0, which is not the part of our domain. So I'll change the order. So after changing the order, you can see that here they have given limit of y in terms of x. It means they might have drawn up a strip which is parallel to y axis, but we want the limit of x is in terms of y, so we'll draw a strip which is parallel to x axis. This is going from where to where? From x is equal to 0 to x is equal to y. From x is equal to 0 to y, and from we have to go bottom to top. This is our y equal to 0 point, y is equal to 0, and this is y is equal to 1. So y is going from 0 to 1. This is y raised to the power 4 e raised to the power xy square. We changed the order, it became dx dy. So what I'll do now, I'll integrate it initially with respect to x. So obviously y will be treated as a constant. So on integrating e raised to the power xy square, I'll get e raised to the power xy square by y square, and x is going from 0 to y. This is your dy. So this came out to be what? Obviously it got cancelled out, y square by y to the power 4 y square. Then what you did, you kept in place of xy, so it would be e raised to the power y cube minus. Obviously don't forget this point, as I have already mentioned, this is your khatre ka nishan. Why? Because e raised to the power 0 is going to be 1. Because during the exam what happens is that आप लोग बहुत जल्दबाजी में होते हो, तो आप हमेशा e raised to the power 0 को 0 रख देते हो, but it is not the case, it is actually 1. Okay, e raised to the power 0 is going to be 1. Now we have to integrate it. What we will do, we'll write it down once more. Here we have 0 to 1 and y square e raised to the power y cube, y square e raised to the power y cube dy. Then we have 0 to 1 and this time it is going to be y square dy. Fine. So we kept it y square dy. So what it became, this is a substitution problem. I'll just take y cube as t. So 3y square dy is equals to dt. Limit is going to be same, because when y is 0, t is 0. When y is 1, t is also 1. So this is going to be what? This is going to be e raised to the power t. Then we got dt by 3. And minus, this is going to be y cube by 3 from 0 to 1. I'll integrate it now. This is e raised to the power t, 0 to 1. Then this is obviously 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 e raised to the power 1, e raised to the power 0 is obviously 1. Again I am marking that khatre ka nishan. Okay, so we came with this. So because we kept t equals to 1, we got e. Then we kept t equal to 0, we got 1. This is minus 1 by 3. So what we are getting? E minus 2 by 3. Okay, so obviously now you can find this value from the calculator. Okay, keep either e as 2.7. So what you will get, 0.7 by 3. So your answer is going to be somewhere between 0.2 something. Okay, so you can evaluate that, I think. So this was your question from the question paper 2018. Let's just move to few other questions as well. So the next question that we have to do is from the question paper 2020. See, first we did a question which was from 2017, then 18, then 19, now it came to be 2020. So every year they have been asking a question. So what was that question? They said that, okay, let me just write it down over here, that if your 0 to 1 and your 2y to 2 e raised to the power x square dx dy is going to be equals to k e raised to the power 4 minus 1, then what they have asked, that k equals to this. Okay, now you just read the question once. They said that the value of this integral is equal to k times e raised to the power 4 minus 1, and you need to find out the value of k. So obviously you have to solve this integral, and looking at this integral you can very clearly get to know that you have to integrate initially with respect to x, but I do not know how to integrate e raised to the power x square. It simply means that this question is from change of order of integration. Now what I'll do, I'll just draw our region of integration by keeping all the limits in our mind. So x is going to be 2y, x is equals to 2, and you have y is equal to 0 and y is equals to 1. So let me just draw this. So this is our y is equals to 0, then this is going to be our x is equals to 2y, and this is going to be our x is equals to 2. But before drawing y is equal to 1, just find out their point of intersection. Okay, once you will keep here x is equal to 2, obviously you will get y is equal to 1. Is it, what does it mean? It means that your y is equal to 1 line is passing through this point only. So now you can choose your region. Obviously this is a region. either from the limits, as I have told you already, that your y is going from 0 to 1, that is from here to here, and your x is going from 2y to x is equals to 2. So don't choose this region. Reason being is that this region contains, or this is being bounded by x is equal to 0 also, which is not being included in the limits. So now what we have to do is that we have to find out the limit of y in terms of x. So we will draw a strip which is parallel to y-axis. This is going from where to where? From y is equal to 0. So y is equal to x by 2. So what I am going to write it down, this is going from y is equal to 0 to y is equal to x by 2, and once we will go from left to right, it is going from x is equals to 0 to x is equal to 2, because this is 2 comma 0 point and this is 0 0, and this is going to be e raised to the power x square. As we change the order, now we will write down dy dx. Next what we will do, we will solve it now, because it is easily solvable. 0 to 2, we'll integrate initially with respect to y, so we'll treat x as a constant. So we'll simply get like this, 0 to x by 2, and this is your dx. What we are getting, 0 to 2, x by 2 e raised to the power x square, and this is your dx. Now what I'll do, I'll write it down in the another slide so that you can understand it nicely. X by 2 e raised to the power x square dx. Fine. Now you see one thing, this is a substitution problem. I will keep x square as t. So 2x dx is going to be equals to dt. But when x is 0, your t is 0. But when your x is 2, your t is what? 4. Okay. So now the limits will be from 0 to 4. And your x dx will be your dt by 2. So obviously this will become dt by 4 and e raised to the power t. So 1 by 4 e raised to the power t, then you got 0 to 4. What it will be? 1 by 4 e raised to the power 4 माइनस खतरे का निशान. अगर नहीं भी बनाओगे तो आपको आंसर नहीं मिलेगा और आपको गलती समझ आ जाएगी. क्यों? क्योंकि इस इंटीग्रल की वैल्यू आपको दे रखी है कुछ, क्या? k e raised to the power 4 minus 1. Okay, k e raised to the power 4 minus 1. So obviously what you have to do now, you have to just compare it, and अगर आपका यहाँ 1 नहीं आता तो आप compare नहीं कर पाते, right? So what you will do, you will just get that 1 by 4. So what is going to be the answer? Answer is going to be 0.25. Okay, so we got the answer for this question, and it was a NAT question from the question paper of 2020. Fine. And इसी क्वेश्चन में एक चीज़ और देखो, अगर इस क्वेश्चन में ऐसा ना दे के वो आपको कुछ ऐसा दे देते कि ये जो इंटीग्रल है ना वो बराबर आ रहा है किसके? 1 by 4, एंड सपोज दे केप्ट e raised to the power k minus 1, तो फिर आपको k की वैल्यू पूछते तो आप इसको इससे कंपेयर कर रहे होते ना, e raised to the power 4 minus 1, तो आप k की वैल्यू को 4 बताते. बट रिमेंबर दिस थिंग इन माइंड, व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग यू दिस क्वेश्चन इज दैट बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट ऐसे होते हैं जो सब्सटीट्यूशन प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करते हैं, बट होता क्या है, सब्सटीट्यूट तो कर दिया x को बाय अनदर वेरिएबल t, बट दे डोंट चेंज द लिमिट्स. लिमिट्स को 0 to 2 ही रखा और फंक्शन को t में कन्वर्ट कर दिया. तो ऑब्वियसली अब यहाँ 0 to 2 लगाओगे तो e स्क्वायर बन जाएगा, तो k की वैल्यू 2 आ जाएगी. सो ऑलवेज कीप दिस थिंग इन योर माइंड दैट वेन एवर यू आर सॉल्विंग अ प्रॉब्लम बाय यूजिंग सब्सटीट्यूशन मेथड, ऑलवेज keep your limits very in a very manner that you don't do any mistake over there. Okay, this is the just line that I would like to tell you, that whenever you are solving any question using substitution method, always keep your limits with a little little bit of like you don't do any mistake. You are changing the function in t but you are not changing the limit, so doing all the calculations correctly, but at the end if you did any mistake, your answer is going to be wrong. So always try to avoid such kind of things. Okay, so these were our few questions which I discussed today. Hope these questions will give you an idea ki which kind of questions have been asked in the exam, and these were some of the previous year questions. But don't worry, I'll keep one more session on change of order of integration, where I'll discuss few questions which are basically not previous year questions, but they are quite important. Okay, such kind of questions can be asked in the exam, so I'll discuss those questions but in the next session. Okay, so that's it for today's class. So hope these sessions are helping you out, especially to those students who cannot afford the expenses of taking admission in any coaching institute, either online or offline. These free courses will help you in qualifying these exams, and they'll give you a direction in which direction you have to move, on which topic you have to focus. Okay, that's the basic purpose of our launching these courses completely free on this platform. So hope these are helping you out, and if you need any kind of help, just write it down on the comment box and we'll try to help you out. Thank you so much.